Why, hello there, Rip City. Rejoice, because even though the Blazers lost tonight, 132-129 to the Utah Jazz, we can claim victory. Why? Because the regular season is next. The preseason is done. We now get to games that count. Huzzah! We are here. Oh, welcome into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt with you, joined by Brendan Slaughter on the other side of the glass. I will hope that the ones of you who are here for the pregame show will enjoy knowing that Brendan picked Wingstop for dinner tonight. I know that was an important question that I asked him. And you know what? That is the most important answer of the night. It was good.
Well,
Brendan,
was pretty tasty. It hit the
I
spot.
actually thought Brendan really showed his true colors in how he feels about me as a friend and a work partner, friends for life, because he's like, I usually get the chicken sandwich, but we could do the basket and fries for two. I'm like, that's like friendship right there. We'll share. Look at you, Brendan. Look at you.
Absolutely, buddy. You and I got a kinship for these road games, man. It's just too special. But yeah, no, it was tasty, and shout out Wingstop. Chris and I got a nice little smorgasbord.
That is right. We're working on the sponsorship as we speak. Now, Blazers went down to Utah and dropped one tonight, 129-132 in favor of the Utah Jazz. A game that was definitely weird. I thought Blazers did kind of put a good foot forward. Their starters played in earnest in this one. Jeremy Grant, Shaden Sharp, and Drew Holiday all 30 minutes plus. Donovan Clingan 28 minutes. That's wonderful to see. Denny Avdia unfortunately played just under 16. He had an upper back injury and would not return to the game. But this is the F word, a four-letter word, might I remind you. Foul, foul, foul reared its ugly little head tonight as poor Young Hansen fouled out for his second time in the preseason. Chris Murray fouled out. Donovan Clingan had 5 fouls. Jeremy Grant had 4 fouls. Shaden Sharp had 3 fouls. Caleb Love had
Can
3
we swallow
fouls.
the whistles, Chris?
No, you cannot. City
my goodness.
Sissoko had 5 fouls. Ryan Rupert had 4 fouls. It was a foul fest, 38 in all for your Portland Trailblazers to just 21 for the Utah Jazz. That ended up kind of being the difference in this one, quite frankly. Portland got to the line 34 times, hit 28 of those shots. Utah got to the line 43 times, hit 36 of those shots, so a +8 in the make category there for a game that was only decided by 3 points. And I do know for a fact, I will be quite honest, we all like a good Blazer win, but when it's a preseason game, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, please, Jeremy, don't hit this shot. let's just focus on getting to the regular season, please. But we're here. Let's look at the box score, shall we, though? Jeremy Grant did have a very, very good game. 7 of 16 shooting, 5 of 12 from beyond the arc, 6 rebounds, which is interesting if you pay attention this preseason. Feels like he's been a little more aggressive on the glass. I really hope of all the things he's done this preseason, that's something that can carry over to the regular season. He had 2 steals, 3 block shots, and 32 points to lead the Portland Trailblazers. In fact, that 32 led all scores. Denny Avdia had 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists in his limited time tonight. 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocked shots for Donovan Clingan. Shaden Sharp put up 20 points and 20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. Drew Holiday, another stellar performance, quite honestly, all around just phenomenal. 24 points, 7 assists. And just like I said, that Jeremy has been working on the rebounding. Drew Holiday has been great when it comes to distribution of the ball in the preseason, and that's something that I hope can carry over too. Caleb Love once again proved that there's never a shot that he's ever seen that he does not like. He got 16 points off the bench. And the thing with him, he likes to chuck it. He likes to throw that ball at the rim, but I like that about him. I like that there's no fear in the way he plays, because we've seen players on our favorite teams before play timid. He does not play timid. I think that's the type of thing that can get you on a roster someday. I don't know where he sits right now, maybe more of a remixed guy, bouncing back and forth end of the bench, but I do love the fact that he just plays with no fear, because that's not something you really learn. You just have that, and I love that about him. Outside of that, nothing too crazy for your Portland Trail Blazers. Of course, Jan Hansen, 15 minutes. He had no rebounds and assists, 3 points, 6 personal fouls, and a block shot on the Utah side of things. 15 points for Lowry Markkinen, 14 for Walker Kessler. Zvi Mikhailuk had 25, 20 points from Keontae George, and Kyle Filipkowski had 9, 12 points from Elijah Harkless, which I will remind you really, really confused me all game long every time I heard Harkless with a great handle, Harkless with a great move, Harkless with a good rebound during a Blazer game because my brain is hardwired to think Maurice, and it in fact was not Maurice.
Mo buckets, man. What a pull.
That's right. And Yusuf Nurkic, for those of you who were reminded tonight that he plays for the Utah Jazz now, had 12 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. Now, if you want to join in on the conversation with us, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And of course, you can go over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, and you can get in on the chat there as well. Where Sean chimes in, says, hey, Jeremy Grant looked great. I do like. Iron Rod says, the heck was that garbage? Rod, it was preseason. I don't care about it. I know you do, and we all should, but it's preseason, man. I'm just jazzed for the regular season. That's what matters. Those games count. This one don't. Of course, you had to go to Utah and had to give Utah their first win of the preseason. But guess what? That is wiped clean. They got the Windex out. That's my sound of squeezing the Windex. I'm going crazy. We're only 4 preseason games in, Brenden. But you grab that. Of course, you grab your microfiber cloth because you don't want to ruin the schedule or anything. Don't want to scratch it. But boom, you wipe it. The slate's clean come next Wednesday. Riley, he does say that was a lot of yikes, though. Jacob says, hey, Chris, Jake from Cedar Mill here. I'd like to get one of those national trolls to give their take on what they think is about to happen in Rip City. Hey, ESPN has been pretty complimentary. They think they're about to be an 8 seed. Their simulations ran through, put them into the championship game for the in-season tournament, which as much as I have dogged the in-season tournament since it started, if Portland won it in the regular, that'd be pretty cool, right? Like, I think that'd be something you'd be like, yes, we are so back. We are so back. But you're right. I want to see what else they have to say. Rick, what's up to you? Thanks for tuning in. We're going to have fun. He believes the Blazers will be 42-40. I like that. And then Iron Rods chimes back in. Let's all panic. We should. We absolutely should panic and then get it out of our system for next Wednesday when the Blazers open the season against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, as Ryan says, I'm ready for the season to start. I am ready for the season to start. I apologize, Ryan, and to everyone else out there who is a Mariner fan, because as Brenden said when he walked in right before the show, banner day for sports fans in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's brutal. Oh, it's a tough one, man. Absolutely tough one.
Hey, let's pivot real quick, okay? Coach just hit the indicator. He went to the ear. He went nose, forehead, nose, chest, wiped down the left arm. That means we're going to pivot to baseball. I know my signs. It's not over till it's over. This is now a best-of-3 series. Seattle has a chance. They just got to figure it out. A, hit the ball. I was sitting there, a Rosarena up in like the 7th inning. Just, you guys need runs. You cannot afford to watch strike 3 just go right down the middle of the pipe. Swing the bat, okay? And then the pitching, okay, stop leaving sliders over the middle of the plate. This Toronto team is too good with the bat, and they will leave those hangers, and they will just absolutely yak them. They are hitting the ball so darn good right now. You got to come at it. You got to mix it up. And I think if the breaking stuff ain't working, go away from it because it's working for them. And you got to be a little bit careful. Now, again, if you want to join the conversation, 503-248-0620 is the telephone number. And, of course, youtube.com. Type in Rip City Radio and join the chat over there. Thank you to everyone who's doing that right now. Bringing the energy. But I joke with you all. I joke about how, this doesn't matter. It's time for the regular season. But realistically, win or loss, I don't think any of that matters. You got to also look at how this game went down. Like, I know it's easy to go, oh, my gosh, that was a terrible game, and the way that played out. Yes, but when you look at the lineup, like, when you get to the regular season, Caleb Love's not playing 22 minutes. Sidy Sissoko's not playing 16 minutes. Ryan Ruper's not playing 8 minutes. Jan Hansen, we'll see where he is in the long run. But say Robert Williams is healthy, he's not playing 15 minutes a night. As much as we want him to because we love him, I would love for him to crack the rotation. But as of right now, I mean, Maybe in the beginning of the year, he's getting those 12 minutes a night just because you got to spell Donovan Clingan a little bit. But a lot of these guys aren't getting those big chunks of minutes. I would also understand like Tamani Kamara didn't play the last 2 games. That's just precautionary. No major issue there. Just more like, hey, we gotta make sure we don't hurt ourselves too bad in the preseason. Probably same thing with Denny, where it's like if that's a regular season game and the back's stiffening up a little bit, you probably go through it. You're okay, but just ain't worth it in the preseason. And of course, if Matisse Thybulle comes back, Robert Williams, like I just said, and you have Scoot Henderson coming down the line, things will be okay. Things will be okay. I think when you look at a lot of the things in this game that you can build on and that you like, win or loss aside, I love the fact that Jeremy Grant stepped up tonight, showed that he can be relied upon. As I've said multiple times, I think he's the fourth or fifth guy on this team when it comes to scoring. But you're going to have nights where you need him to be the guy like tonight. I like that he stepped up. I love that Drew Holiday has been absolutely solid all preseason long, showing that he's very comfortable leading this team as the true point guard. Shaden Sharp, even though he only had 20 points tonight, the aggressiveness has been there. Yes, he didn't shoot great. 2 of 9 from beyond the arc, 6 of 17 overall. But I love the fact that even on a night when Jeremy Grant had it going, Shaden Sharp had the most shots because I want that from him. I want him to be aggressive. I want him to show that, hey, I'm the guy that you want to put the ball in my hands because I'm your offense. I love that. Like that's that old school MJ Kobe mentality from those true, just classic shooting guards. Tracy McGrady, even Brandon Roy here, like Dwayne Wade. Like I want to see that from Shaden Sharp. I like that I've seen that here. I also love in this game foul trouble, even with that being an issue. Donovan Clingan playing 28 minutes. I absolutely love that. Outside of that, there's not a ton to sit there and go, okay, that's huge because Caleb Love's not a rotation guy. Chris Murray, maybe, but he's hasn't shown a ton during the preseason. I think of all those guys on the bench, the one that's kind of locked themselves into a spot, and of course we'll see next week, is Blake Wesley, because I think that he's proven that he can be a competent backup guard for this team, especially since he's aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. I love that from him. But again, when Scoot comes in, Blake is your third guy who's not going to play a ton. But there's a lot to like there outside the win and the loss. I know that's what we focus on sometimes, but breaking it down, using what preseason is for, maybe running some sets you're not used to, running things just to try to get the kinks out. And now you have a week to go prep before your opening game. I think things are going to be okay. I think things are going to be okay. We're going to take a quick little break here. When we come back, speaking of next week, let's look ahead to what the Blazers have to deal with to start this season. Because if you haven't paid attention to that schedule yet, it's an absolute gauntlet out of the gate. I think we're going to know what kind of team this Blazer team is really, really early in the season, for better or for worse. And regardless of the record, I think it's for better. This team's going to get some tests from day one. This is the fifth quarter. I'm your host, Chris Burkhardt. Follow me on social at Chris J. Burkhardt. And also follow the show, youtube.com, Rip City Radio. We'll be back after the break right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back in to the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. If you want to join the conversation with us today, youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio is a great way. Shout out to my loyal Discordians over on the Trailcasters Discord. To answer your question, nope, that is not me on the guitar during those commercial breaks. That's just stock music. My guitar goes way too hard for timeouts. They're like, Burkhardt, we're not looking for Slayer up in here. We got to give it a little bit of easy listening. I do have a guitar. It looks very, very good in the background of my stream sometimes. I don't know how to play it. It does look good. Makes a good decoration. So shout out to Mac. Shout out to Certified Blazer in that chat as well. And Botrus, I'm probably butchering that, who says only 14 watchers. Come on. It's up to 20 right now. We're working. We're a radio station who throws a camera in here and streams on YouTube for fun as well. We are having fun. So thank you all for tuning in and flipping me a little bit of crap, because you know what? It makes for a fun time here at 9:30 on a preseason Thursday. So thank you for all of you. Now let's turn over to the YouTube and the chat and what we're going to talk about. You know what? I said we're going to talk about the schedule, right? Because it is a doozy. The Blazers right out of the gate, my friends, are going to be tested. It is going to be an absolute boxing match, like a punch after punch after punch right out of the gate. Like all the way through November, they might be bloodied, they might be bruised. It's going to be a test, and I love it. I love it because we have high expectations for this team. We said the defense is going to be great. I think it is. Offensively, we need to work, but they're going to get tested. Here's what the schedule looks like next Wednesday, October 22nd, 7 o'clock tip, available on Blazer Vision, KUNP, and right here on Rip City Radio. Your Blazers tip off the 2025-2026 season against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I will say what I said the other day, and that is I am looking forward to this game probably more so than any regular season or opening night game that I've ever looked forward to, because if you know how openers go, they take the time to introduce the entire roster. So when we are in a sold-out Moda Center on opening night and they introduce Damian Lillard, that's going to be a feel the hair stand up on the back of your neck type of moment. It's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously a test with Minnesota. Then right out of that, you got to play Golden State, a team that you just lost to twice in the preseason. Then you go on the road to play both Los Angeles teams, first the Clippers, then the Lakers. Then you get this Utah team, which I think that's a game that you'll probably win in the regular season. Again, this whole preseason thing, I'm going to let it slide. After that, though, you got Denver, the Lakers again, and Oklahoma City for a 3-game homestand. Then on the road at the East Coast rival of your Portland Trail Blazers, Miami, and then Orlando. So you got a team that's all not terrible in Miami, but they're gonna be good. Then you got a good team in Orlando. Then you got a snoozer with the New Orleans Pelicans. Of course, maybe they're gonna be way better than we thought. And then Houston and Dallas. Phoenix, meh. Chicago, they'll be all right. But then Golden State again, Oklahoma City again, Giannis and the Bucks, San Antonio, which I think is poised for a phenomenal year, and then Oklahoma City again. You play Oklahoma City 3 times before the calendar flips over to December. I mean, right out of the gate, that is a gauntlet of a schedule. So the Blazers going to be tested. That defense, is it for real? We will know by then. Is the offense better? We will know by then. It's going to be work. Man. Whew. I mean, I'm getting tired just talking about it. Just getting tired talking about it. So how do you think that's going to fare? How do you think it's going to fare? I think it's going to be a tough one. I think that some of those games, though, like Utah, Chicago, New Orleans, you can schedule a couple wins. But if you go out there and you beat one of the LA teams, you sneak one from OKC, which is easier said than done. I'm just throwing it out there, that you're going to be able to turn some heads and impress some teams, impress some watchers. I still think the idea of winning 40 games is well within reach, and I love that. man, schedule makers weren't very good to Portland right out of the gate. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Rick says that Chad went to Sunrise once back in the day. You could do it. Hey, I have talked to Chad jokingly, but not jokingly, about pulling just a 24-hour stream fest over here. I'm sure Brenden would do it. We could switch hosting and producing duties every few hours. So you could get a little bit of a snooze. Just go all the way through. Party on, baby. I mean, New Year's Eve. Blazers play on New Year's Eve, and I'd really like to get home to my children. But I mean, that could be a day that we're like, hey, let's just go through. Let's power through.
So I've had this thought in my head a couple times, Chris.
That's dangerous.
I think the idea is pretty far fetched, but I thought, the day that the Trailblazers win a championship here in Portland again, Rip City Radio should break the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest straight radio broadcast. It can't be more than 24 hours, I wouldn't think.
I like it.
So with the championship parade, we just find a way to not go off the air for 24 hours.
Oh my gosh!
Could you imagine? But
I say we go. If they win the championship, we go as long as we can possibly go. We give everyone the address to the studio. Michael Shacker runs bouncer, and we just let fans come up here and get on the radio.
It's true. That would be so
through.
much fun.
Rick also asked, Chris, you'll be at Moda opening night? If so, how does one hunt you down? Well, Rick, if you get there early, right when gates open, the pregame show, Blazers Game Day, I host that right outside of section 330, right next to the Pines, up in the 300 level. So you can come find me there. I usually leave right about 6 o'clock, so about an hour before the game. And then after that, I usually work my way right down to section 113, which is Media Row. That's where Travis and Chad do their game broadcast. So I usually go down there, set up my stuff, talk to them for a quick minute before I head down to Media Row. But yeah, if you hit me up on social, Chris J. Burkhardt, or you're watching Game Day and you're like, I want to come find you where you're at, then I'll stay there a little extra so you can come find me at section 113. So you got some options. You hit up the YouTube chat. I'm a man of the people. I'm ready to say hi. And I love putting a face to the names that I see in the YouTube chat. I apologize because sometimes I only see everyone a few times, and I'm very, very bad with name and face recognition sometimes. So if I give you the look hey, just know I'm not being mean. Got to see me more often. But I promise you, Rick, if you want to say hi, I will make the time to come say hi. I'll do that for everyone. Like Han in King City, who just chime in. First off, Brenden, he says that the Guinness record is 108 hours and 8 seconds.
108 hours and 8 seconds. I mean, are we talking legit, radio station that starts with a K, or are we talking an internet stream? I think there's a big...
See, streamers do it all the time, but streamers cheat. They're
right.
We'll go to bed.
Right.
We'll put the camera on
I want OG over the, I want to know the longest AM broadcast. And probably something I can look up myself, but you know what I mean.
Hey, we got a commercial break in a second. We'll figure it out. But that's a good question. But to your point, Rick, Han in King City is one of those fans who was sitting right in front of Media Pro one day. He's like, hi, Burke. And I'm like, hi? I'm supposed to know you? And he's like, Han in King City. I'm like, oh, Han, oh my gosh, it's so nice to put a face to the name. So always feel free, come say hi if you find me there at Moda. And then Han says, the record was set by George Iniabasi Essien, Mighty George, on Comfort 95.1. I probably totally messed that name up. In Nigeria. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
FM in Uyo Aqua, Ibon State, Nigeria. Okay. Well, Mighty George might have some competition if and when the Blazers win the championship.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts considering let's just do the cheat math in our head. That's 72 hours is 3 days. So we're talking almost 6 days. Oof. Yeah, that's a little tougher.
That's a little tougher.
A little tougher. How? Who was that again? Way to shoot down my optimism, whoever that was.
Okay, but maybe we could set a different record.
Like sports related
maybe
or something.
the longest continuous post-game show where we go from the end of this show, we just keep going until the next game day.
Could you imagine?
And we just talk Blazers the whole time. We can deviate to food because that's what the fifth quarter does. We could talk video games, and we could occasionally sprinkle in some other sports.
If they won a championship, Chris, I'd never want to get off this mic.
Oh my gosh,
I'll just be 100% honest with you right there.
If they won the championship while we're doing this show, I'm probably gonna take this entire stand with me and put it like up on my mantle somewhere. Chad's gonna show up the next day, like, where's the mics? I'm like, I took them.
They're gone.
I took them as a memento. Like, I was on that mic the day they won the championship, and I never want to forget it.
High key.
Rousing Rat says my wife would be upset if I was away for that long. Never know. Depends on the day. She might be like, oh, you know what?
True.
Stay away for a minute. Stay away for a minute. You're too much to handle. All right, we're gonna take a quick little break. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little more Blazers for you. Have some more fun. Thanks everyone for tuning in, laughing with me. When we're having this much fun on a preseason loss and the regular season hasn't even started, I can tell you that the regular season's gonna be fun. Man, I wish I was traveling with the team still, man. Because if I was traveling with the team, I'd be playing college football 26 in my hotel room, making sure my Xbox was packed every single night. I'd have multiple controllers and batteries just in case. Oh, I love sports, and I love this time of year. Chris Burkhardt here with you, joined by Brenden Slaughter. This is your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. 503-248-0620 is the telephone number if you want to get in on the chat. And of course, you can go to youtube.com, type in a Rip City Radio, and you can get in on the chat there where Han asked, have you guys predicted the wins-loss records for this year? I went with 40 and 42, which would be an improvement upon last year. What are you thinking, Brenden? Brenden typed in the chat. He said 41 and 41, 500. Rick chimed in, said, I said 40 and 42. It's rare that I'm more positive than Chris. I have been picked on many a time, Rick, for being positive about this team. I remember the great friend of the show, Brian No, being like, this Burkhardt, they made a trade, and he'd be like, oh man, I love this trade. This is such a good trade for the Blazers. Here's the deal, and I've said this before. When you do this for a living and you have to cover 82 plus games a year, I'm going to be critical when I need to be critical. But being overly Debbie Downer on the team that you have to cover can be exhausting. It can be exhausting. Let's bring Brenden in for a second. Brenden, I'm going to preface this. This is not salt in the wound, but it's hard to probably be overly optimistic covering Oregon State right now. But I'm sure you try your best. You got to be objective. You cover what you got to do. But if you're just Debbie Downer the entire time, it starts to wear on you a little bit.
Yeah, not even so much on me, but wears on the fans too, Chris. I mean, and I think it goes for Blazer fans too. If you love your team, you don't want to see just the cascading negativity all the time. And to make your point, yeah, there was a time when Oregon State was 0-5, 0-6. We started to hear, hey, we need to think more glass half full kind of a thing. And obviously we saw things happen, but yeah, no, I think it's you always want to see your team succeed, and there's that fan care factor. And yeah, no, for sure, Chris, it can always be tough when you're going through the lean years. But there's always that light at the end of the tunnel, man.
Absolutely. And again, you guys know me. I'll be critical when I have to be critical. I'm going to be optimistic when I can be optimistic. And right now, I think we're in a good spot. I think Portland is definitely around that range. Grok says 36 and 46. I think a lot of people are having them at that 36 to low 40s range. And I think that's a great spot. Sean says 38 and 44. And I think all those things being considered, I think that would be a good year. If at the end of the year, realistically, this team is in contention for that play-in, I think we're in a really good spot. Considering you don't have Damian Lillard available to play, you're still leaning on some of these young guys. The difference being that this year really feels like the year that they're not going to pull their punches. They're going to give that wholehearted effort. If you lose, but you're not losing because you're rolling out lineups of Rupert and Kelvin Blevins and
my guy CJ Ellaby.
Yeah, Dwap Reed, CJ Ellaby, right? Who we love, but those aren't starters, is what I'm saying. Like that's hard to deal with. So I think this year is going to be a really good year for building. And if they end up getting close to that 500 mark, that's phenomenal. And if you're in the play-in, even better. I think if you get into the play-in and get bounced, you're still, man, what a success. And if you weren't with us during the pregame show, Brenden brought up a great point about how this is like the learning year, not for the young guys and trying to learn what you have, but learning what you have as the whole team, because there's a lot of optimism for next season, knowing you're going to have Damian Lillard available and how much that changes your team when he's on the floor, not just because he's really good, but even if Dame is 70% of the Dame we know, there's still gravity to a player of that caliber. There's still offense in that player. There's still plenty of good. And so what do you have that you're going to be able to play with him and insert him into the lineups that maximize his talents and yours? And all those things are what you do to build your team moving forward. Any other comments in the chat? Jeff, Blazers are going to kick boots this year. Iron Rod says they might go 0-8 off the bat. And Kirk says this team will be better with Scoot. Wait, once Scoot gets in, I think Scoot's an interesting play here, because look at what Drew's doing. He's doing a very good job moving the ball, getting people involved. And I think that's obviously Scoot's strength on the offensive side. and it's going to suit him well when he is healthy. I hope he gets back sooner rather than later because Portland's going to need him. They want him to grow with this team. You get him back, you get Tease back, you get Robert Williams back. Oh boy, those are some good players that you could use. I know Tease, there's no real timetable on him, but I know it's like not a major injury, just a little tweak, a little soreness. I'm sure he'll probably be back soon. And then Robert Williams, it's just a matter of clearing him for full 5-on-5 contact and getting him ready. Tease you need though. Oh man, you saw Tease last year in the last 10 games? Absolute difference maker. That's an all NBA level defender. So is Tumani Kamara, so is Drew Holiday. I want to see lineups out there. The team just goes full ham, full defense. Score on me. I dare you. I think that'd be funny. I think that'd be just mwah, chef's kiss. What?
No, just the way you're like, mwah,
Mwah,
chef's kiss. I
chef's
just
kiss.
Chuckle. No, it's just absolutely. I agree.
Defense is good. And you look at the teams that have been good over the years. Like when Milwaukee won a championship, it's like, yeah, they had Giannis and a good team and good pieces around him. But I mean, Brook Lopez was still playing great defense. Obviously, Giannis playing great defense. They had defenders on that team. You look at Oklahoma City, that's a defensive team. You look at Boston, great defenders on that team. You got to be able to play on that side. And Portland is really leaning into that. So I like what we're saying. Robert Williams III is who the Blazers need. Han says someone to back up DC. Young's going to foul out in 5 minutes. And Hanson's getting a little bit of the rookie treatment here in the preseason. He's realizing that the way it's officiated, so he's going to learn.
It happens to all rookies,
It
though.
does.
Like, I remember a couple years back, Shaden Sharp getting called for fouls left and right. I remember Donovan Clingan getting calls for foul. I mean, you just kind of have to go through it as a rookie.
Yep, you have to go through it as a rookie, that's for sure. And I absolutely think the world of that kid. I think he's going to be really, really good. If he doesn't see the court much this year, don't be upset about it. I mean, we're talking about a guy who was taken in the late teens. They can develop him. They have that ability because of having DC right there. And then as Han just pointed out, I mean, Robert Williams, what makes him so valuable is he's so talented on both sides of the ball, but he's made his career in that backup spot. And I think he's very, very comfortable in it. It's not about starting for him or any of that. It's just about getting those minutes and playing his role and being so versatile when he does it. And that's a big piece to have, especially when you got a guy like Donovan Clingan, who cardio's been questioned. I don't think it was questioned tonight. I think it's obviously he's worked on it, which is great. But you have those nights when he picks up 5 fouls and you really need your backup center to be relied upon. And Robert Williams is the guy you can rely upon to go out there and play 35 minutes if he's healthy. If he's healthy. That's the key. The number 20, the quarterback. I love when my college football buddies get in here and just start spamming a bunch of random stuff that has nothing to do with the Blazers, and chatters are probably like, what's going on? Maybe one day we'll get to advance it. Gotta stop waiting 2 weeks between games, you bums. Bobby. Anyway. Okay. Blazers, Timberwolves next Wednesday. That's the start of the regular season. That is when it all goes down. And I can't wait. I think this is going to be a really, really fun year, friends. And I think a lot. And I think that I think too much. Like there's another crutch word I got to get off. I think. Sorry, friends. But I know that this is going to be a great season. And the best part about it is you, the fifth quarter, and the fans listening to it. As I always said, ups, downs, good nights, bad nights, long season, tough stretches, doesn't matter. We're going to get through it together. But that's going to do it for this episode of the fifth quarter. Whew, we made it through the preseason. Regular
Games
season.
that count. Start now, baby.
Games that count. Games that count. Pack your Xbox. Games that count.
Chris still on that 2 days later.
I'm still on it. Once again, Blazers fall to the Utah Jazz in the final preseason game of the season, 132-129, clearing the way for regular season action. Now, the Blazers will start the regular season on Wednesday night at Moda Center. That is October 22nd. Tip-off at 7 o'clock, which means I will have Blazers game day for you at 5. A quick reminder, though, why I have your ear. This year, we are dedicated as a station to bring you wall-to-wall Blazer coverage, more coverage than ever before. You will have myself on Blazers game day and the fifth quarter after every single game this year. I do have to miss a few, so shout out to Brenden, who will be filling in for those. You also have me on Courtside Mondays. Any Monday that the Blazers are not playing from 6 to 7, we'll be talking Blazers. Brenden, pub the wrap-up.
You know it. Trailblazers wrap up on Thursdays with Brenden Slaughter. Tune in.
That's right. And that is also from 6 to 7. And if the Blazers are playing, we move some things around. You'll be able to hear reruns. You'll be able to see it on YouTube, get a podcast. We also have the Trailblazers Insider Show with
Boom.
Sean Hyken. He will have a podcast as well. So you will get a Hyken podcast. You will get our Insider Show once a week on top of Blazer games. So, friends, first off, thank you so much for liking the YouTube channel, making it grow. It's been phenomenal. We're at 1.5 subs. That's small to some people. It's huge to us because we love every single one of you. And we are dedicated to bringing you the best coverage possible, more coverage than ever this season with your Portland Trailblazers. Once again, Blazers open the season on Wednesday, 7 o'clock tip. I will have game day for you at 5 o'clock right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. Until then, Rip City, we'll talk to you on the next one.